it is not letting me do that.
That's because you're using a stupid map app. You'd think that you haven't lived here for 20 years.
Oh my God.
Can you just start driving on Lakeshore Drive? Honestly, just drop me off at Michigan and Harrison. Doesn't even matter. It's like a couple blocks from Michigan. It's not a big deal. Okay.
That took so long.
I know it did. I don't remember my words.
This is my last hurrah.
This is my last hurrah before my family imposes a book buying ban upon me. So what better place for a last hurrah than the Printers Row Lit Fest, Chicago's premier book event that happens every year. So I'm being driven and dropped off at Printers Row because my family will not join me. So I'm going to have to go by myself. I'm going to take you along with me. So at least I have you. They're going to go to a playground. Told me that I wasn't allowed to buy books for a whole month, and I agreed to that. I had forgotten that this event was coming up in September, and so is it okay that I am starting my month-long book buying ban after this event?
Of course.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. All right, so I will only buy 20 books. That'll be my limit.
That seems a little big.
Does that seem like too much? You think I can carry that much? All right, I will not buy 20 books. I promise. Okay?
Great.
Great. Here we go, Balbo. Turn. Let me off wherever you can, I guess. You guys
Are
go
you
have fun. It's fine. Yeah. Love you.
Is that the
All right, I won't buy all the books.
Is the book over
Buy
there?
most of it.
Okay. No, I got about a mile to walk or so. No,
Oh, wait.
half a mile. No, it's fine.
Oh.
It's good. All right, love you, boys.
Yeah.
All right, bye. Have fun at the park.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you later.
Lucky bunch of students, for sure, engaged this. We have time for definitely one more question, maybe two, so I'd love to hear a little more from our audience. So I bought 10 books
and I'm gonna go through these super quickly because the last video I posted on this channel was a book haul, and I don't want that to be all you get from me. But I do want to highlight these publishers and these authors because I was so excited to visit their tables at Printers Row. I was completely overwhelmed. It was so crowded there, and I was by myself, and it was just overwhelming. So I didn't visit any of the used books tables or tents because they were just packed and it was overwhelming, but that wasn't really my goal. I wanted to visit some small presses while I was there, so that's okay. And I certainly got enough books. I picked up from Featherproof Books, and I don't know if they must be local to Chicago, but I'm actually not sure, so I'll have to look that up for you. I went up to their table and they said, "Oh, are you familiar with Featherproof Books?" And I said, "Yeah, I actually own 2 books from you, Scorch Atlas and The Universe in Miniature." And they had them both there on the table. So I pointed to them and they were like, "Oh, well, if you like those books, then you would love these 2 other books." So that recommendation was awesome. So the 2 books that I got from Featherproof are Failure to Comply by Kavar. And this is a dystopian sci-fi novel of sorts. And I'll just read a little bit. So if you hear any screaming in the background, my kiddo got a splinter at the playground. So they're dealing with that while I talk to you about books. Okay. Anyway, so this says, a deviant self-hacker with 3 arms, 2 stomachs, and no name is on the run from RSCH, a high-tech authoritarian government that mandates wellness and carves the contours of truth itself. And Rivers Solomon says, lovingly and ecstatically told, this book made me feel. So excited to read that. And then this one, the title, I was going to buy this one anyway because the title sold me. It's I'm Fine, But You Appear to Be Sinking. And it's by Lena Crow. These are short stories. And it says, these are stories of strange experiences in familiar places and familiar experiences in strange places, which is all I needed to know to be sold. So then I visited on the other side of the same tent, Tortoise Books. And Tortoise Books is definitely a local Chicago-based publisher. And I own several of their books, but one specifically that I have loved so much recently is a memoir called Strip, which is just a phenomenal memoir. I highly recommend it. But I picked up 4 books from Tortoise, and there's a reason I picked up so many. So a couple I had my eyes on already were Lech by Sarah Littman, and this is a novel about lives of strangers, neighbors, family, friends that entwine and separate over the course of one fevered upstate summer, and a haunting and hilarious debut novel from Sarah Littman that confronts the perennial question, how to break free of everything that holds us back. And I also just love the title. This novel is by Jeremy T. Wilson. Did I say Sarah Littman? Yes, so Jeremy T. Wilson, this is The Quail Who Wears the Shirt, another novel, and it says, Tuesday night is trivia night, a night for produce market owner Lee Hubbs to swing by the bar with his cop friend, a night to down a few shots and avoid all the folks who've been mysteriously turning into quails. And that is all I need to know there. So going in the pile. And then these 2 I picked up because the author was there and she was signing books. So I was like, oh, well then I'm going to buy your books and you're going to sign them for me. So these are, I believe, short stories and a novella. This is Scene, I'm not sure if I'm saying her first name right, Scene Vargas. And the novella is her newest book. It's Nothing's Ever the Same. And this says, Itzel's 13th birthday party starts in just about the unluckiest way possible, with her dad having a heart attack. In those frantic moments, the piñata and the frosted sheet cake and the styrofoam cups of orange soda are forgotten. The day's highlights end up being CPR, an ambulance ride, and angioplasty. But when her father gets home from the hospital, his problems are far from over and Eitzel's are just getting started. So that sounded really good. And then these stories are, the collection's called On the Way. And I love the cover. It's just so beautiful. So this is her debut, and it says it explores the whims and follies of the heart. When a mother disappears in Guatemala, her daughter refuses to accept she's gone. A divorced DMV employee falls in love during a driving lesson. A young girl shares a well-kept family secret, and a bad haircut is the last straw in a crumbling marriage. That looks so good. So then I headed over to, a publisher I knew I wanted to visit, which is Whiskey Tit. I have no idea where they're based, actually. So we're going to have to find that out too. But this one I had my eye on already and knew that I wanted to get. So Wire Mothers by Catherine Calderon. These are short stories. And it says, a woman begins to eat books when food can't satisfy. That was enough to sell me right there. A reporter discovers that sympathy for the devil might be misplaced. A grandmother organizes her crimes into neat checklists. These 5 stories, written by one of indie lit's most versatile authors, explore bad vibes, bad choices, and bad parenting. And it was that I had already heard about this collection, and it was the description of one of indie lit's most versatile authors that sold me. But then also I picked up this novel called The Drowned Woman, and I don't actually know what this is about. It just says a novel of challenging the status quo, the hidden desires of women, and the unwavering compulsion to pursue one's creative desires in spite of the male gaze and the trap of modern passivity. Why did I struggle over that word? Oh, I'm tired. But then when I picked these 2 up, I'm not sure who it was who was at the table, if it was the publisher or someone else associated with the publisher, but she said, oh, these are 2 books close to my heart. So I was excited to hear that and am excited to read these. So then last but not least, I visited actually the first tent I stopped at. I went back to it on my way out, and it was a place called Clevo Books, and it was the first table I visited because the book I saw on their table was held up was Not a River by Selva Almada, and I was like, oh, there's a book I know and the kind of publisher that I like to buy from. So I headed over to their table, and as I was walking there, I saw that they also had the annual banquet of the Gravediggers Guild from New Directions, like right there. And then I saw a couple other books from indie publishers, and I thought, oh, okay, this seems to be all indie publishers. And as I approached, I noticed that all of their books were divided by language, like translated from French, translated from Chinese, translated from German, all of these languages. And I thought, oh, these are all books in translation. That's cool. That's why they're all indie presses, because a lot of the books in translation published in the US are published by indie publishers. And so I put it in my head to come back on my way back out, because it was one of the first tents. So I came back after I bought my big stack of books from the publishers, and I scanned the shelves. They had so much that I already own. They had so much that I have on my list to read, but I decided to pick up The Most Secret Memory of Men by Mohammed Mungar Sar. And this is translated by Lara Vergniaud. And the reason I picked this up is because I just finished another book called Tenderloin that was also translated by Lara Vergniaud, and thought, oh, I listened to an interview and read a few interviews with her, and she seems really awesome. So, and I had already wanted to read this book anyway. So grabbed this one, and then as I was going to check out, I saw this one, which is Foul Eulogies. Oh, this is published by Other Press. And then Foul Eulogies by Lucy Rico and translated by Daria Chernysheva is published by World Editions, I think. Whoops. World Editions. So this is published by World Editions. So this one is about it's a gripping literary mystery in the vein of Bolaño's Savage Detectives unravels the fascinating life of a maligned Black author, and it's based on a true story. And then this one is about a vegetarian who grew up on a chicken farm, and when her mom dies, she returns to the chicken farm to help run the business, which just is a setup that I admire. So it sounds great. So I went to check out, and I asked them, I was like, oh, are you guys a bookstore? And they said, well, actually, yes, we're a bookstore based in Cleveland. And I asked, I was like, do you sell all translated books? And they said, yes, actually, we are a publisher and a bookstore. We publish books translated from German, and then we have a bookstore that sells books translated from other languages. So that was very cool. And obviously I bought books from them. So that is my book haul from Printers Row. I am officially now, right? I'm officially on a book buying ban.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's true.
It's true. Okay, how long did the ban last?
A month.
A whole month?
Yeah.
Wow. What if I mess up? What happens if I accidentally buy a book?
To not buy a book for 2 months.
2 months then?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of months.
You don't say months long. You don't say months.
Months?
You say months.
Months.
It's supposed to be called months. You're
Months.
a booktuber and you're calling months.
I'm saying words wrong as a booktuber. That is just a crime. Or should I say crim?
What are you doing?
All right, well, there we have it. My final, my final book haul for at least a month. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful early fall day. I hope that you will subscribe if you like to hear about books from indie publishers and nonprofit presses, because that's all I talk about on this channel, which I forgot to say at any point until now. So that's what we talk about. So that's what I was looking for. That's why I was visiting those tables. Hopefully you figured that out. There seems to be a monkey.
Books.
Oh God, Big Monkey thinks I have too many books. All right, well, I guess
Everyone does.
I guess we're signing out. So
Yeah!
I'll talk to you later. My name is Sarah. Bye.